Many things are to be discovered about J.B Holmes in this video. But before we dive in, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to our channel. J.B Holmes was a member of the winning USA team in the recent Ryder Cup. But 5 years ago he wondered if his golf career was over. In August 2011, when he was playing in the USA PGA Championship, he experienced extreme dizziness and had to withdraw after the first round. He was diagnosed with Chiari malformation, in which the lower part of his brain was pushing down into his spinal canal. His doctors told him that he could choose either to suffer from ongoing vertigo and give up his career, or to undergo an operation involving serious risks. J.B. decided to go ahead with the operation, during which a titanium plate was inserted at the base of his skull. Following the operation, it was discovered that he was allergic to adhesive plasters, and he had to be airlifted from his home to the hospital for more surgery. 4 months later, he started trying to rebuild his career, and this year he qualified for the Ryder Cup team. When J.B.'s problems made headlines around the world, people with the same condition made contact with him. He said, "There were lots of people who contacted me saying they had the same problem, and that I inspired them. I'm happy that I've made people aware of it, especially young kids who can still see that their lives can be fulfilled." Holmes is currently ranked 55th in the world and wasn't expected to contend for the title in Portrush. Then again, many didn't even expect Holmes to continue playing golf after what he endured 8 years ago. During the 2011 PGA Championship, Holmes was forced to withdraw due to bouts of vertigo. When he sought an explanation, he was eventually diagnosed with Chiari malformations, which are structural defects in his brain cerebellum. No one wants to hear the words brain surgery, but that's just what Holmes heard in 2011. In Florida, PGA Tour golfer J.B. Holmes has unloaded his waterfront home roughly a year and a half after it first hit the market. The custom estate sold for $1.825 million. That's a $225,000 drop from what he paid for the place 6 years ago, records show. The lakeside spot spans 3/4 of an acre in Bradenton, centering on a 2-story house built in 2007. Inside, columns and tile floors touch up expansive formal living spaces. The most impressive space comes in the 2-story great room, where wood-covered ceilings top a fireplace framed by built-ins. Walls of windows, wainscoting, and a sweeping staircase complete the scene. Another highlight comes out back, where a glass-covered pool and spa boasts a wet bar and plenty of patio space. Elsewhere are 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, a formal dining room, and a chef's kitchen in about 6,300 square feet. An elevator ascends to the 2nd story, where pocketing glass walls in the master suite access the covered lanai. The level also holds a loft and movie theater. After J.B. Holmes' first competitive swing in more than 5 months, his shoulders slumped. His drive Thursday on the first hole of Torrey Pines' south course traveled 280 yards, coming to rest in the first cut of the right intermediate rough. J.B. Holmes' dad called up the golf coach at Taylor County High School. What would a kid need to shoot to make the varsity team? Little J.B. Holmes went that day nervous, of course. He was competing to take a big teenager's spot and tried out for the high school golf team. He not only made it, but he also played the 6th man on the team before ever hitting double digits in age. And it went from there. The underdog moved right on up, and that's exactly what happened for Holmes at the BMW Championship. After coming into the 4-day tournament at Crooked Stick, ranked 42nd of the 70 players, Holmes finished in 3rd place after the 3rd round, shooting a 4 under par 68 and finishing the day 14 under. He trails leader Dustin Johnson by 4 and is just 1 stroke behind the 2nd place finisher. Holmes' top 3 finish didn't come with any super flashy one-day performances, but rather a 3-day stream of solid scores, including a 69, 3 under in the opening round, a 7 under par 65 Friday, and a 68. Just about every facet of his game fell into place. A jury of his peers did not deliberate long, unlike J.B Holmes, who deliberated long enough to bring the wrath of its verdict down on him. The verdict was guilty. Holmes was guilty of slow play at critical moment, on the 72nd hole of the Farmers Insurance Open. Guilty, intentionally or not, of icing a man in the lead, Alex Noren. And guilty, to those watching, of reinforcing the game's reputation for taking too long. The situation was this. Jason Day had finished at 10 under par and was tied with Noren, who was in the fairway, 230 yards to the hole, on the par 5 18th on the south course at Torrey Pines. Holmes, who needed an eagle 3 possibly to tie, was in the fairway, 239 yards to the hole. Holmes was away and took 4 minutes and 10 seconds to decide on a club and to hit his shot. 4 minutes and 10 seconds is a good time for a high school miler, but an egregious breach of the rules and etiquette in golf. The PGA Tour Player Handbook and tournament regulations state that a player is permitted 40 seconds to play a stroke. It allows an additional 10 seconds for a variety of situations, none of which apply here. It would have had to allow for an additional 3.5 minutes to accommodate Holmes. Holmes' second shot found the left greenside bunker. After blasting out, he two-putted for bogey. 2 days before the start of the Farmers Insurance Open, he had pronounced himself ready to put an unnerving chapter in his life behind him and, as he put it, get going. Once on the course, he looked as rusty as a beach cruiser bike left out in the salt air, carding a 4 over par 76. That was 10 strokes higher than the best round posted on the south course by Mark Turnessa. Spence 11 and Kyle Stanley shot 10 under 62s on the north course. While it was not the start he had hoped for, Holmes was playing again. After what he went through last year, that was a feat in itself. On September 1, Holmes, 29, underwent brain surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore to relieve symptoms of chiari malformations, which caused vertigo-like dizziness. A piece of his skull, about the size of the core of a golf ball, was removed to relieve pressure on his cerebellum, and a titanium mesh plate was affixed to its base. When Holmes talks about the operation, he shrugs it off as if it were no more daunting than a root canal. Holmes did not swing a club for 3 months. He hit his first drive since the operation and sent it 240 yards. For Holmes, one of the longest drivers on the tour, it was like shooting a free throw and not hitting the rim. He said he was not able to practice at full speed until further notice. When I came back, my swing coach came down the first day I got cleared, and he said my swing looked fine, he said. It was on point and everything. So my body didn't forget what it's been learning for the last 28 years. So it didn't go away like that. Holmes added, I've just got to get out here and play a little bit, and it will get back to normal. Holmes hit 8 of 14 fairways and 12 18 greens. By his admission, his irons were not crisp. At the third hole, a 136-yard par 3, on which the Pacific Ocean serves as the backdrop for the green, Holmes's wedge shot stopped 44 feet from the pin. On the 7th hole, a 458-yard par 4, Holmes recorded his first 300-yard drive, then hit what he thought was a good approach. The ball landed 8 feet from the pin but rolled back, leaving him a 44-foot birdie putt, which he missed so much. Share your thoughts with us in the comments section about what you think of Holmes. Be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.